Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I have Neuro Coffee in hand and it is perfect. All right. A busy Wednesday coming up. But first, today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, coffee and coaches conference call. As usual, bring your coffee, bring your questions, a great group of people. If you've missed out on these, you're missing out on a great time and great information. So please join us at 6 a.m. tomorrow. The link will be on my professional Facebook page. Going into today's Q&A, this is with Clancy, aka Colin. Colin had a series of questions, and this is just one segment. It's actually a relatively short segment, but it covers a lot of ground. So, a couple of principles. We move by a shape change. That shape change allows us to access spaces around us. That's how we move. If we only had a proxy measure that would tell us how we can access that space, and we do, and it's right there at the bottom of the rib cage, we finally call that the infrasternal angle, ISA, if you will. This allows us to identify some structural biases that predispose people to being able to access certain spaces. Our ability to move that ISA, the AKA dynamic ISA, then represents an early goal to allow us to access more spaces, and that's what this discussion is about. So those of you that are still confused about infrasternal angles and its use, this will hopefully clarify some element of that. So thank you, Colin. If you would like to participate in a 15-minute consultation, please go to askbillhartman@gmail.com, askbillhartman@gmail.com, put 15-minute consultation in the subject line so I don't delete it. We'll arrange that at our mutual convenience. Everybody have an outstanding Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Coffee and Coaches Conference Call. Have an outstanding day.
I was driving to work yesterday and listening to the podcast recap from the preceding week, and there was a statement you made which was also relevant to some questions I was starting to ask at the intensive about how do we identify, if I can look at someone and I can watch them move and I can look at their chessboard, I should be able to determine what's your non-compensatory space that you have to move into, so that if my goal was to recapture someone's relative motions and to kind of be like a drug dealer of expansion, right? I can better target like what activities are going to have higher success rates for someone actually like getting the result that I want. So I was trying to think about that. I was like, with like different presentations, like where are these people's actual spaces to move into? And I go back to that drawing that you did on the whiteboard several times of someone's like their angles, right? And how if on the top is, I drew a pretty wide narrow. So
Right, I understand.
Ignore that. But the wide is wider, right? How like over there, that's their room to move into, right? So the more AP compressed someone gets, obviously, like the flatter their helical angle becomes.
Okay.
And that's how you have less space.
Okay.
Right.
So here's what you gotta do. Hang on, boss.
Yeah.
Hang on, boss. So you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Okay. All right. Take that representation. Okay. So you're looking at somebody from the front in your drawings.
Yeah.
Okay. Take that, grab a hold of that thorax that you drew, and then tilt it so you're going to be looking down on it.
So it kind of looks like this.
Hang on. Maybe
that's a cross-sectional view of a thorax.
Okay. Yeah.
It also looks like
so take.
Yeah.
So hang on. So take understand that you do understand that that's a two-dimensional representation of a four-dimensional situation.
That's probably where the disconnect is coming from.
Okay. It's not a line. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a line. Okay. It creates a space in four dimensions. All right. So you have to look at this from a shape standpoint. So what shape are you really looking at when you see the little crissy-cross helical angles?
You're really looking at a sphere.
You're looking at a sphere, and so you have to turn the thorax so you can see the helices going through the thorax in the other representation, and now you start to see where all that space really is. So it's not a snow angel. Okay, you drew a snow angel in that first representation, right? With the helical angle, right? Okay,
But if you were in a pool, okay, and I'm looking down on you in the pool and you were going like this, right? Your
That's
snow
the
angle
space.
is now, huh?
Yeah. That's the space because that's 4D.
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
see, but you got to combine the two. So it goes like this, right? You see it? You see where the space really is?
Can you do that again? That was really special. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Get it?
Mm.
Do you see how it's 4D?
I do. Yeah. Because
Okay.
it's
So
all three axes and then time.
You could technically draw multiple representations, like different angles, and then throw the helices on top of it. And then that allows you to identify the spaces within which you have available to you without the capacity to move those helical angles. See, the goal is to be able to move the helical angles to allow more movements to be available.
Yes.
So you're drawing a fixed representation of starting conditions.
Mm.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's why when we talk about ISAs and such, you know, and like, I don't give a rat's patootie about what that angle is. What I care about is whether it is capable of moving, because that's what represents my ability to reorient those little lines that you drew on your paper so I can access different spaces.
Right. And then the more capability someone has to be able to alter like the behavior of their ISA, which is why it's a behavior and not just like a measurement, indicates their ability to create and move into more spaces.